Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Park. Welcome to Today at the Races. Naomi Tucker alongside Keith Fusel. Keith, of course, during lightning round, we will be reflecting on the day that was yesterday.
Oh, it's a great day. I mean, handle straight up 3.2 million. I mean, like over a million better than the previous year. So we love that. We had a good live crowd. We were treated to some upsets, some really impressive performances on the main track and the turf course. So all in all, a banner day, a day you love to have here at Laurel Park. We're going to wrap up the week today. 8 races, a couple turf races. Tricky little card to get through, but we're set, and hopefully we can help you out.
Yeah, wonderful weather once again today as well. And of course, we are less than 2 weeks away from the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks. You can play with us here at Laurel Park. We do have gates opening early at 10 a.m. For you to be able to get your wagers in. Let's have a look at the current track condition. As you highlighted, Keith, we will be back on the turf again today as well. Fast main track, beautiful firm turf course. I do believe for the turf races we'll have the rail at 52 feet, as you can see there on the screen.
Yeah, the Dahlia course, our outer course today at 52 feet. It's just a perfect day. Look at the temperature. Very comfortable. If you can come out here and join us, please do so. If not, as I always say, pump up that first bet account and get yourself ready for a good day.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you have a nice patio or garden to sit on, and you can watch some of the action whilst just enjoying a lazy Sunday afternoon. But let's get going here with that 8 race card that we have on tap for you. 1 turn, 1 mile the distance in the first race. Like I used to say, started the early pick 5, but I decided to try my hand at the sequence today. 3 deep here in race number 1, 1, 2, 6 for me. Then in race number 2, again, 3 deep going 1, 2, and 5. I spread in race number 3 over that mile and 1/8 turf course here. 2, 3, 4, and 7 for me. Then my single of the day comes in the shape of the number 2, Fortunata Italia for trainer Anthony Ferry. First time going longer. She now comes in here as a 3-year-old. They add Lasik. She's been prepping for this with a red hot barn in the new year here for Anthony Ferry. Look, she is stepping it up to the 6 furlong for the first time, but the way that she ran that 4.5 coming from off the pace, I like that with her. I think that she's going to be very, very handy in game indeed. Race number 5, 3 deep, 1, 2, and 4 for me. $54 flat ticket for early pick 5. Indeed, hinging around that Anthony Ferrier runner in race number 4. But let's start with the maiden special weight event here. 3-year-olds for the ladies going that 1 turn mile. We have a video spotlight on one of the runners in here with a little bit more experience than some of the others. We have a couple of firsts in here too. Glow City for Madison Myers. She wasn't hurried in the beginning. She does end up making a lovely 4 wide rally. You can see her coming down the lane. She runs like you'd hope a 1 turn mile would finish her race, really being able to get the better of the rest late. Now, runaway victory is there, but the way that she was finishing up her race, you'd think that going to that second wire wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, Madison Myers with a good second with Grateful Bread yesterday. This was Charming Way. This was her exacta this day. Glow City really ran well, I thought. Circling 4 wide, a grinding style, very willing to the wire. That suits the stretch out here to the mile, no doubt about it. It's going to have positional speed, a little experience edge over a few of these. I think she's fine coming right back. Has to be used into the mix. Charming Way came out of there and run a good 73. When I think close third, but put up the second with a DQ there. But Glow City should be right there, prominent throughout, I think.
But you go with the firsters on top in here. Unadulterated, the number 1 for Tony Brittany Russell, as well as Elk Lodge, number 2 for Ben Perkins Jr.
Well, there's the Perkins money very early. We see it every time with this horse, the 2 Elk Lodge. Entered a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, Naomi, was scratched. I believe that was a muddy track on April the 1st. Comes back. Munnings, obviously the stallion can hit with the first time starter, no problem. They're working this horse like she wants to go long. Had a Sib to win debut and ran a big number, Trouvé. So this horse, everything kind of points to run well early. We shall see. Brittany Russell with a couple runners in here, one with experience. Surya coming off of a break, handled the distance, proven there. What I didn't like is the field behind her. Hadn't done a whole lot, but certainly can cover the ground. Unadulterated, it interests me. She looks like a horse you could have run cheaper. Kind of a protect move here for me. Seems to be working okay.
Yeah, not overly fast.
No. But this protect move I like. Maybe this was a spot they could only find, but they decide to go here. 2 winning siblings. One I think topped on a 65. So lots of ways to go in the first. I don't see the 5 getting there, but any of the others, you can kind of make a case. But I'll take a shot here with one of these firsters getting it done.
Yeah,
see.
I use Oak Loss, like you said, seemingly working like a runner who wants to go longer. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4. I know that you created a ticket again for us today. What is your play going to be like?
Yeah, it's a little $20 ticket. We got to hit one of these. A little chilly the last couple. We hit a few in a row, then it's back to reality. That's gambling, right? So get you started 2 deep in the second with the 5 and the 6. Princess Corey. She's going to have to be tied on, definitely off the break. Obochinche. You got a long shot here with a live rider. I like that. Race 3 with the 3 and the 7. Battalion off a little time, but it really falls into a good spot here off the claim. I'm going to throw in Mokeef. I've got a soft spot for Mokeef. He's made me some money. Caught a pick 6 with him a few years ago. So got to use Mokeef. Race 4, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. There you go. We were talking about it for Fortunata Italia. I did use this horse in my pick 4. Wrap it up. Race 5, 2 and the 4. Stimulus maker, Mr. Mosley. You can throw in Dolce Vita to extend it a little bit more. Yeah, that horse was, I think that was an encouraging try last time off the break. Looks like a horse that needed the blinkers. We shall see. So there's my ticket, $20. See if we can get it done.
Yeah, use her as well. Race number 2 is claiming 16 to 12,500 event. 5.5 furlongs the distance here. And Keith, I didn't get to your top runner here, Albert Chingy. You're right. Jaron Barbosa takes the ride, takes a couple of pounds off. Has been absolutely red hot. It's going to be his second start with the Mackenzie stable here after being claimed 2 starts back from trainer J. Rob. Look, I do find it tough to see further improvement when it comes to when you're coming off a trainer like Jerry Rob. It's going to be tough, and there are just runners in here in my books that have shown capable of running a touch faster.
Yeah, you reach in and grab horses, off of some of these claiming trainers that are really good at what they do. You're taking a risk, but hey, I thought all in all, she ran okay against the bias. Showed really sharp speed, good opening quarter, just a little bit of a fade against the grain of the racetrack. She's shown a rating gear a couple races prior. Maybe she sits dogs, just looking for some value in here. I just don't trust really anybody. Princess Corey certainly the fastest when she's right. She's coming off of a pretty long layoff here, so 8.5 months. She's going to be tightened up, ready to go. But attack move here off the break for Kieran. She should be stalking and moving into it.
I know Kieran does do quite well with keeping his horses fit and taking over. So I'm hoping that Princess Corey is ready, like you said, because she's got figures that could best these. But did put likely choice in my exacta because she drops back to the claiming levels where she got second last time out over this distance in an off-the-turf event. And I just think that her running style, there is a lot of speed tied on here.
Yes.
She's going to be able to pick off some of these runners that tire belatedly.
A couple works, only a couple works showing coming in, but we're okay. But it's never really run poor off the claim. Maintains form, has the ability you're talking about to maybe move into this space because it's going to be honest. You've got a lot of horses that want to get to the front, strike magic. Got away with the softer internal last time out. I'll see if she can handle the added pressure. Always something for Valora Testament, I thought ran well last time. Very fast and can dog you for a long, long way. So maybe Bochinche can kind of stalk and pounce. Salamina, another one that rode the wave of the racetrack. Race 2's got me all over the map. I went to 2 deep, I think, to start it, but you could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think I went 3 deep in here myself. Let's talk about race number 3. Optional claim and starter allowance. This is our first turf race of the day. We're going to go long on the grass, mile and 8 the distance. Also started that rainbow pick 6, and O'Cally created a ticket for us. And look at that carryover, $8,594. Just to get you started. Expect a fair bit more money going into that pool. Race number 3, she goes 4 deep, 1, 3, 7, and 11 to have good coverage there on the turf. And then in race 4, 3 deep, 2, 4, and 5 for her. Then a couple of tighter races in that maiden 10. She uses the 4 and the 8 in their stimulus maker, as well as playing golf for trainer Thomas McMahon. Race number 6, 2 deep again, using the 6, Kimmy Chardonnay, and the number 8, Mo 5 from Mary Saray Jr. Race number 7, 3 deep, 4, 8, 10, and then in the nightcap, she goes 2 deep again, using the number 5, Gunhat, who's very fast early, as well as Know How I Know, who won against Simla 2 starts back. We'll see how she fares. A $57.60 ticket that does start in the race 3 because we do have 8 races on tap today. So let's have a look at race 3 ourselves. Our optional claim and starts allowance, like I said, on the turf. So with your top selection in here, this is the number 3 Battalion. I have him in my exacta. Has races under his belt already this season. Was claimed last time for $40,000. Returns to his better surface. If you look back at what he's performed in the past, especially his Gulfstream Park efforts at that optional claim or higher allowance level, those are figs that could get him into the winner's circle.
It's a little bit of a guess. Don't love this horse. There's so many deep closers into the race.
Yeah.
So I think just the whole flow of the race is going to be good for him. Finds the right kind of a spot here, protected. I like that. Dennis Arrojo is riding hot. I think this horse sets up shot maybe on or just off the lead and makes a move into it. Can handle longer distance. The mile and an eighth, I think is going to be okay because it's not going to be too demanding up front.
Yeah, I use a bit of a price play on top. Go Poke the Bear. I think he's better on turf. I know you give him 10-1 morning line. Yeah. He returns to the grass, has got a little bit of dirtied up form on the dirt in his last couple. That last grass race, he nearly got the win on the day. Only ran third, beaten by a neck. Now, this is a bit tougher, but he's also been working forwardly. I think he's one that I want to take a shot with.
Definitely gets back to the surface. They pointed for this, I'm sure, back in October when they went in for the claim. They weren't really worried. Keep a little fitness there on the dirt. Back to the surface. Can certainly get the distance. And keys up against the right kind of horses. I think there's a lot of ways to go again in race 3. I like Mokeef. Mokeef, the one thing about Mokeef, proven off of time, did it last year for the 12-5 level, a little bit of a deeper closer, but I know Forest Boyce is going to do her best to save every bit of ground before that horse unleashes the run from the quarter pole home.
Yeah, because the key is here that last year when he won, that was a similar break. 180 days layoff then, 184 now. So the only question mark with him is he loves a strong pace. He needs that kind of flow because he gets quite far back.
Yeah, so we got horses off layoff. A couple of these are going to be fresh. I'm hoping maybe they fire out of there. Petit Fields, of course, you look at the numbers, kind of gaudy. Looks like wants to go to the front. Maybe he'll be keyed up and ready to roll and get things a little bit honest up front. But Battalion should have first run on some of these closers, no doubt.
Yeah, this was a tricky field for
Tough
me
race,
to figure
no
out.
doubt.
I was on and off with some other horses as well, and you use the number 6 underneath Toe Curlin. You're not afraid of Petit Fields, and even though it's a year and a half layoff, but you look at some of the figures.
That scares me a little bit. James Lars had a horse run big yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, at a price. Don't know what you're going to get on this guy off the break. The numbers are there. We'll see how the public attacks. But Toe Curlin Kiss likes the distance. We know that. You got Barbosa.
Red Hot Rider,
As I said, race 3, you've got to spread. I mean, it's so many ways. These first couple races really had my head scratching.
Yeah, tricky. Race number 4, claiming 25 to 20,000 for the 3-year-old fillies. 6 furlongs of distance out of that late pick 5 sequence here. But look, I go to the number 2, Fortunata Italia. For now, trainer Anthony Ferrier. She's been prepping with the Ferrier barn, who has been hitting very, very strongly. First time going longer. She's older now. She's a 3-year-old. She gets Lasix on. That was a very strong debut race. That was around Charlestown, so she had to navigate some of those bends. She had the right kind of running style, being able to pass horses. I think she'll be able to find this group to her liking.
Yeah, the extra distance shouldn't really matter. Looking at the breed, and should be able to go on with that. 25,000, laying her right in there, right? A big figure in debut. Lasix going on, lots of positive, and wants to maybe send it to a no home after hopefully a win for the connections. But Cabra Chica, again, these 3-year-olds, these numbers are all over the place. We're talking about the levels from 16 to 40. You don't know what you're going to get sometimes. We've got a lot of them. She jumped up and ran big. She beat a horse like No More Mask, who had been in good form, running respectable figures. Set sail again. Just taking a shot. Trainer's got 2 for 3. Go as far as you can go.
Yeah, I use her in my exact as well because, like you said, it seems very similar groups that they are facing up, and she just turned things around when she got back to the sprinting distance. She likes that much better, using her speed. Keep on rattling there for Angel Cruz. Race number 5 is a maiden claiming event. Actually, race number 5 will come after the break. I'm getting ahead of myself here.
All right.
Welcome back to Laurel Park Run race number 5, the maiden claiming event, 10 to 8,000, 7 furlongs the distance here. Do a video spotlight on my top selection, so we might as well start with him. Dolce Vita for trainer Kevin Boniface. Look, the blinkers go on, and we look back at his last race. He hesitated ever so slightly. He likes to kind of be part of it, and just kind of had to work for it that day.
worked very hard for it. I mean, broke slow, rushes up, shows a good acceleration into an okay opening quarter. Dropped back, lost a few lengths. Look at that. Coming back, turning for home is 4-5 out of it, but finding more. Now, the blinker's going on today, right? Or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Blinker's
have them
going.
up,
Yeah,
yeah.
blinker's going on. Just want to double check and confirm. Just a little bit more break and showing that burst, they might just be super sharp from the inside and be tough to catch.
Yeah, and gets Jamie Rodriguez aboard as well, so perhaps a rider change might freshen him up and get the job done here today. Let's talk about your top selection here. Number 2, Mr. Mosey, dropping back down to the lowest claiming level. Was competitive at this level before, but hasn't got the job done just yet.
Yeah.
Also just gets back to that 7 furlongs. Perhaps that will make the distance, because that last mile race, he didn't seem to want to go that far.
No, maybe a little sprint, extended sprint here to 7/8 is what he needs. I like the Forest Boy Stays. That was a good track, a little bit funky track. Maybe just didn't like it. Again, he's got the numbers. You throw the line through the last race, those 2 races prior, they win this. They beat this field. So this horse has enough speed to get position. Should be forward. I'll be worried if this horse isn't right on or near the lead turning for home.
Yeah, I use Stimulus Maker underneath as well for trying to do McMahon. Second start with the McMahon, but might just welcome that small turn back as well. His best races have come going the 3/4 mile.
Exactly.
So also gets down to the lowest level ever. That all those factors might just turn things around again for this 4-year-old gelding. Race number 6 is a claiming $10,000 to $8,000 event, 5.5 furlongs. Sprinting distance there. Do you have another video spotlight? I use her on top. Shiny Penny for trainer Crystal Pickett. Fast 2-week turnaround here. She was behind the pacemaker. Looked like she needed to take a breather. She kind of dropped back a little bit at the beginning. Re-engaged, moved up and rolled down the lane. Look, she comes back here to Laurel looking to make it 2 from 2 on the track.
And Race Road, it's kind of special freedom into defeat here, right? Out there wide. You wanted to be in that 3 or 4 path that day. That was a good wide day, the 10th. And Special Freedom just couldn't get out of that predicament at the quarter pole. And Shiny Penny got the jump, was able to open up a daylight lead and hold on late as Special Freedom dove to the inside. Holds pretty firm here, shortens up 5.5 furlongs, no issue whatsoever. Some speed might go ahead and send from the inside, but this horse should be just right up stalking and moving into it. Tough to beat, the only multiple winner, right, in the field, yes. So,
yeah, no, I think she's going to lay very, very handily. You have Kimmy Chardonnay on top. I kind of go against her here. She is very fast. She might just try and actually clear this field. But she's also been known to be a little bit vulnerable late. So I'm just wondering how she's going to be able to hold on off some of these closes. Like if she starts staggering late, I think there are a couple of foes here that will be lurking around.
Maybe Kieran has the answer, right? First time in the barn. We're seeing first time for Kieran. That's been golden for quite some time. So she's quick with a good break. She's going to clear 5.5. Let's hope the track's holding speed a little bit. If it does, she might be gone.
How about Mo Fire on the outside? She takes a significant drop in class here. Was up against much stronger than what she finds today. She got the right running style to perhaps indeed color Kimmy Chardonnay.
Exactly. The horse just to her inside is a deeper closer. She should be able, as I like to say, draft in and save ground, get a little cover before, let everybody else do the dirty work before she goes in and makes her run. This is the right move back to 10.
Yeah, take her time and then come with a run here. Race number 7 is our turf feature. 1 mile the distance here. First level allows Filly's Mess, 3-year-old and up. Let's start with the number 8, Get Serious. She's my top pick in here. Relatively lightly raced filly. That was her turf debut on the day there. After 3.5 months break, she jumped on the speed, sat close to it. It was a pretty strong early pace. So she was just kind of behind it. And then you see there she kind of tips out on the turn and keeps rolling home.
Yeah, good job of the rider. Judging the pace, let him go on and don't have to make that premature move that's going to take the starch out of this finish. But I tell you what, comes and scores a big number here, 23-1 to get it done. This video kind of a little reminiscent of the one we showed yesterday, right? I mean, I tell you, I can't believe the price that this horse went off. When you go back and look at the breeding, the mare's had 11 winners. This horse is akin to like I think a graded stakes type on the turf, Delacour, and you get that kind of number first Lasix first turf.
Delacour yesterday with
Good
Shea
Lord.
Pierre. Yeah, let's see if he can get another win on the turf here on board. But you go with the number 10, Jenny Highway. Have her underneath as well. She's now with trainer Dale Capuano. She's been in the money in all her Tampa turf trials. She's got a close. But in my book, she just lacked a little bit of sting to really color the leaders late. So she'll have to turn that up.
Yeah, I'm going to, hopefully depend on the slight class drop. I'm running in 2 other thens, back to the A other than here, familiar with this turf course, back with Dale. Ran good against a pretty good horse in Bramble Bay, which we've seen run around here in the Mid-Atlantic. So, yeah, just a little bit better price because I think everybody's going to kind of be jumping on Get Serious. But the 8's going to be tough right back. The 4, Flying Fortress, you use that one in the mix, so
Absolutely.
do I.
Yeah, lengthy layoff, though, 231 days sidelight. First time going a mile here. But, of course, Shug McGee pretty handy with those longer layoffs. His stats are terrific, 23% winners of those longer layoffs. And look, she's a full sibling to Grade 2 Appalachian Stakes victors Enola Gay with the same training. So clearly well-bred filly that we are expecting bigger and better things.
Kind of an eye-catching debut over the summer at Colonial. Caught that undulating course at Kentucky Downs. It was a yielding surface that day, willing to forgive. A couple horses that finished behind her came back to run well. Shug off a layoff, no issues. Forrest and Shug at Laurel, deadly. We showed the stat yesterday. He wins at like a 30% clip. You can't leave out Flying Fortress.
No, you better be protecting yourself here. As we move on to race number 8, the Nightcap, claiming 16 to 12,500, mile and 16 the distance here. You landed on Know How I Know. I have him in my exacta here. He's won against similar 2 starts back. He tends to roll on wide, but as long as he keeps his momentum going, he's capable of getting there.
Agreed. I think you're exactly right. It just don't stop the momentum with him. Get him out, use that position around the first turn with this inside post, stay close, and grind it out. That looks like the style that's going to get it done for this horse today.
I agree. I actually ended up using the number 6, Illustrious, on top. I see that you have him underneath. He was trying to get to, well, he's probably going to try and get to the lead here. Was able to get to the lead last time from the outside draw. Same distance, of course, that quick run into the turn here. Managed to overcome it. I'm hoping he can overcome it again today, but he might just have 1 or 2 speeds to fall on his inside. But still, he's been very, very consistent, and I think he's capable of making it happen here today.
Yeah, and maybe the jock says, all right, maybe I'll just go ahead and take back. The way he was able to use himself that much and hold on makes me think he's got the chance to reserve some of that speed, hold back, drop in, and try to run. If he goes, Gun Hand is pretty quick as well. You've got to run on the trail, can go. So you've got to be really careful. He's kind of spy these horses to his inside in that first 16th of a mile and make the right move. But the horse to beat is the horse from there. Run on the trail, I'm going to throw in the exact. It's just, again, the Barbosa factor. This horse had an excuse last time out. Had a chance. Ran okay when sitting just off of it a couple races back. I'll throw in there because I think it's going to boost your exacta.
It has been repeatedly bested by bested here by some of the same foes, though. Know How I Know Gunnar has opposed him. I'm not sure he's going to be able to turn the tables on them here today. I also used Principality underneath. First Vital Claim for Marius Serrate Jr. We'll have him tuned up to go here. I think it's a fast track again here as well. Let's have a look back at all the action yesterday because it was quite the day indeed. This was one of the races I was most looking forward to, the King T Leatherbury Stakes, because I wanted to see that horse right there, True Valor, return from a year and a month layoff. Ran 6 in the Alcoa Sprint before, but the way he ran today, he was fastest out of the gate. I don't think anyone expected him to jump that swiftly.
I didn't see it. No. You guys had him. I'm just, I sit out here and just make bad decision after bad decision.
I just love him.
Super sharp was this. I didn't expect this right to the front and did it well within himself and was able to separate top of the stretch and really had plenty left to keep Grateful Brett at Vegas. Grateful Brett had a great trip.
Yeah, look, I thought Drew Fowler was the class in the field
Yeah, no
here,
doubt.
and he had to overcome that long layoff, but did so very good. I spoke with Fergal Lynch after. He said he was surprised that the horse jumped out on top. He was waiting for Javian Toledo. He said he wasn't coming, so he went on with it.
Yeah.
So terrific race here. Of course, congratulations to Graham Motion as well. Wonderful training performance to his entire team. As we move on to the Prima Netta Stakes, that was a fun field. We know that Kayla Soares and Princess Gokuchin were reopposing. Of course, we had Street Lead Maryland champion, 2-year-old and 3-year-old filly, but in the end I did think that the added distance was what made the difference for Kayla Soares to really get her going in those latter stages.
Yeah, and I heard the interview afterwards, and the trainer was a little surprised, that kind of close up. Well, Coco Chen and X-Man, they got away with it really soft up front. 23-2, I believe, was that opening quarter. So Kayla Soares, naturally, she's going to be kind of closer than what she has been on paper. And you always talk, well, pace makes the race. Maybe not so fast on that one. When we talk about it, maybe it's overblown. Horse shifted out and just really flew home. Great effort from Kayla Soares.
Yeah. Terrific performance there, because those were some tough fillies and mares actually that she bested. The next stakes race was the Dahlia Stakes, a mile on the turf, and that was a fun renewal as well. And you're looking at the number 10 deciding vote, who was making her seasonal reappearance here, but the way she closed there, that's kind of what you hope to see from a turf miler, right?
I was loaded, locked and loaded. I picked this horse up at 3/8 corner of my eye, calling the chart. You're seeing in her for with Boyce and for Shug and Janny there. It got the jump, was floated a little bit, fanned out and bumped up upper stretch, but I didn't think it mattered. Deciding vote was not going to be denied from the top of the stretch home.
No, she was not. That was a good race to watch there, and indeed, you mentioned In a Hurry for trainer Shug McGee Forsberg, very well regarded in that field. So well done to Connections deciding a vote. The next race was race 9, the Native Dancer, mile 8 on the main track. Huge upset in here, 40-1 on the Bruno Tesori trained Rough Sea. Dennis Arroyo did really have to ride him for it, make sure that he's coming home, because at this point it didn't look like he was going to get there.
No, it didn't. Certainly didn't, but got a little bit of help from his stablemate Big Venezuela. We heard Bruno Tesori talking about that. That was the plan. Go ahead and send Big Venezuela, set things up. Maybe Rusty was going to get there. He knew he would bring a run. I didn't think he was going to bring this type of run. A horse that got beat for 12,000 not too long ago steps up and wins the stakes. Congrats to Connections.
Got claimed for 12.5 as well. So terrific performance there. I was a little bit disappointed by Four Warrens. Just a touch flat here today. Multiple stakes winner came in with triple-digit buyers. Perhaps that took a little bit out of him.
Could have. I mean, he'd been fairly consistent, and he just kind of got back to being. He's also just dropping further back. He was flat was the perfect description of his effort yesterday. It just wasn't there.
Yeah, and then in the nightcap, we got to see a pretty special runner here in the Henry Clock on the turf. Shea Pierre remains on a beat, and you can see him there coming where they're on. Puts just daylight in between him and the field. What a professional close for trainer Arnaud Delacour, as well as Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, of course, the owners of the mighty Barbaro.
I tell you, got bet down to favoritism late and didn't disappoint. I mean, this is one of the best I've seen in a while. I was talking to the guys upstairs calling charts. I've been doing it a long time. That was a big move. Emphatic, I think, is what I used to describe it in the footnote. And that's what kind of victory it was. And this guy's answering the bell. Boy, he's going to be really tough moving forward.
Yeah, I was thinking with Arnaud Delacour as well, because he was mentioning, and I asked him about that, he was still a little bit green, a little bit keen in his turf side debut. Much more professional today.
That was, he just settled, drafted into a great position, really good ride, maybe a little bothered by the second choice drifting out just a little bit, field pass drifting out slightly, entering the lane, kind of hung out to about the 6th path. Now Burrow dropped down a little bit, shifted in. It was over. That was an acceleration through the final quarter.
Yeah, terrific day yesterday. Really, really fun stakes action. Congratulations to everyone involved for making it such a strong day. And of course, having all the fans with us supporting our products as well. It was a busy day. The sun was out just like today. So do come along again. We still got 8 races coming your way. Callie and I will be up this afternoon. And of course, Dave Rotman will be next.
Yeah, good luck. You guys did a great job yesterday. Callie, Tim, yourself, everybody, the whole team. Dave Rodman, can't forget Dave, best announcer in the game. So
absolutely.
Thanks for everybody for coming out yesterday, supporting us. Great handle. Hopefully we can follow it up today.